Shake 'em, boys, shake 'em.
So in this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about what it takes to shoot hunting videos. You know, the first thing you got to do is go get a camera, and the thing that I recommend is the first thing to get would be a GoPro. GoPro Hero 5, GoPro Hero 7 are really good cameras. They have in-body stabilization, and a great way to start. When you go, you know, get a head mount or something, shoot some of the action that way, and then get some B-roll and just mix in a little B-roll of like the decoys, putting out the decoys. Nice thing about the Hero 5 and the Hero 7 is they've got some in-body stabilization to help smooth out some of that. So really not a bad camera, easy to pack, real small, and you know, that's the number one thing, is just go out and start shooting stuff. On your B-roll, keep it real short and simple, like 2-second clips, you know, just throwing out the decoys. Try to add to your story using the B-roll. You know, the next thing I'd recommend getting is a DSLR or mirrorless camera. And actually, I would go with the mirrorless, like this one right here. The reason why, for hunting, I mean, you can see the size difference is huge. A mirrorless is so much easier to pack around, lightweight. You can add different lenses to it, just like the DSLR. This is a Canon M6. I would probably recommend the Canon M50 as a second camera to get once you step up. Although the Canon 70D, probably a little higher quality, but man, you're hardly gonna notice. And if you're packing in stuff like into your duck hunting area, you know, turkey hunting, this was like so much nicer to pack than this. You can add different lenses to it. You can put like zoom lenses. This is a 22mm, so I can use this one pretty close. But yeah, it's got good shots. And you know, the one thing is too is the M6 here has got some in-body stabilization where the 70D doesn't. It also shoots 60 frames per second, so you can slow it down. You can slow it down a little bit, get some slow motion, where this only shoots 30. Man, just get out there, go shoot, get some video, edit it, and then your edits, man, keep it short and simple. Like, nobody wants to watch 5 minutes of you walking in your hunting spot. Just quick clips, 2-second cuts, you know, and max like 4 or 5 seconds. So one thing I want to do is check my audio levels. One nice thing about some cameras is you can plug in headphones, which is really nice, so I can hear what I'm actually recording, and I'm not just guessing on it. This Sony has headphone jacks, which is just great. So I'm running a wireless audio system, so really nice because I can put my audio out there. One thing, when I'm in here, I'm making noise. It takes that noise out. One drawback today is I can't get that close to the guys. I'm probably like 300 yards away, and I can only put my audio out there about 60 yards. So slight drawback today, but at least I can get it out there. You won't be able to hear the guys talking, but you'll be able to hear Earl on the call and hear the geese pretty well out there. And I'm running my audio off my main camera on manual because I can hear it and I can make adjustments. A lot of times you'll just run your audio on auto, just let the camera do it. So my Rode Videomic Pro plugs into the wireless system. That sends it over to my camera. I'm still working on it. It goes out. It's supposed to go out about 100 yards. I'm still playing with it a little bit, but right now I'm really happy with it. It gets that audio away from me. So the second camera is just my safe one. It's a static one, it's not moving. I just have it shooting at the decoys. The idea is hopefully I can just sort of get that wide angle of the geese falling when they shoot, them coming out of the pit. I've got audio on it. It's sort of my backup audio. I do have a cheap Rode mic on it to try to pick up audio, but like I said, not the best. So one thing is really nice to have a blind. That way you can move around a lot. Don't have to worry about you know, birds or animals seeing you. So I just got this blind, the Primos Double Bull. One thing about your tripod is make sure you got a fluid head. A fluid head's way smoother, and if you want good footage, especially when you're shooting with a big lens like a 200. something with a lot of zoom, you need a fluid head. So make sure you got a good tripod, a good way to mount your camera. The lens I'm using on my main camera, I'm using a 70-200 Canon with a 2x teleconverter. So it's actually a 140-400. And then I've got an I'm shooting on a Sony camera, so I got to run an adapter. For goose hunting, I run everything manual focus. It's just too hard to focus on those birds. The lens tends to lose focus a lot. So I put it on manual focus, and then I shoot at a high aperture. So all my settings are manual, and I'm shooting on this camera. The Sony allows you to go to 120 frames per second. At 120, you can slow that down like 5 times, so you can get that slow motion, good slow motion. And then I'm shooting at a high aperture. I'm just adjusting for light with my aperture. You want to shoot an aperture like 6 or above, otherwise it's really hard to focus. This lens, the lens I shoot at, I can go down to a 2.8 on it, but you're gonna have a lot of trouble focusing. So I run, like I said, I run a like 6 to 20, or I don't even know how much high it goes, 6 to 22. I just adjust for light with that aperture and shoot with the tight aperture. That way it's a lot easier for me to focus and get stuff in focus. My main camera that I'm shooting on is a Sony A7 III. Great camera. They run about $2,000, so they're pretty spendy, but really the best thing out there, and great for outdoor filming. They're pretty lightweight. You can shoot, like I was talking earlier, 120 frames per second. They're a full frame mirrorless camera, which has a lot better low light capability. I mean, if I was to recommend a camera right now, I would recommend the Sony A7 III if you can afford the money. Also, another thing to consider is the lenses are more expensive on a full frame camera. Your average lens on a full frame camera is probably about $1,000. So, but they are a great camera to go with. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below, and I'll get back and I'll respond to your comments. If this is something that's helpful and you'd like another video that's similar to this on like editing or a different aspect, again, put it in the comments and I can make a different video. Hope this video helps you out. Make sure to like and subscribe to my channel.